It wasn't that long ago that if you wanted to glam up your computer, you could either use a colored cold cathode tube or a UV cold cathode tube with some black light sensitive components. RGB, believe it or not, wasn't a thing.
Oh my God!
I know, right? And that got us thinking, what if we combined the old and the new? We took RGB, UV cathodes, and lasers, and we smashed them all together into one computer to make the craziest, most colorful, most rave-tastic PC the world has ever seen. Brace yourself, my friends.
Oh God!
Isn't it beautiful? And you know what else is beautiful? Today's video is brought to you by Glasswire. Glasswire is a firewall that displays your PC's incoming and outgoing network connections in real time. Use offer code Linus and get 25% off Glasswire 2.0 at the link below. Selecting the case was probably the easiest part of this build. The Primera PM01 FX from Silverstone literally has a unicorn on the side. What more could you want? And it also has 3 140mm fans up front, which means that there should be enough space to fit our sky white 420mm radiator from Primo Chill, even if Silverstone doesn't explicitly say so. So, measurement-wise, it should fit.
It's close, it wants to do it. Oh, balls. Yeah, since we're in for a real derivating good time. All right.
Our big radiator troubles weren't over yet though. For our DDC pump and reservoir, we planned to use this bits power mount that, while sexy, only connects to 120mm fans. But that's nothing that can't be fixed with a few minutes of SolidWorks and some acrylic vaporization with our laser cutter. Not bad. You might even say it's profesh, as the kids say. Now it's time for some lighting. RGB strip lights are cool, but what's even better is spatially and temporally coherent lights. Oh yeah, we're talking about lasers. So we got this guy here off of Amazon. It's designed for DJ booths, but we're all about improvisation here. And, as it turns out, the hole for the PCI Express power cables is just the right size for it. Only problem is, the laser is too big to fit beside the massive prime titanium 1000 watt power supply from Seasonic. But what if we could make the laser smaller? Taking it apart revealed a lot of empty space, and Dr. Alex prescribed a healthy dose of angle grindulation to fix the problem.
Oh yeah.
Originally, we wanted to add a smoke machine inside the PC as well, but unfortunately, the compact ones rely on water vapor, a hopefully obvious problem inside a computer, so we'll be relying on mineral oil-based fog instead. All right, so now we've got a pretty funky case, but this is LTT, so we will need plenty of horses under the hood too. First up was our GPU, an NVIDIA GTX 1080 Ti, which gets the water treatment courtesy of Bits Power. We removed the stock heatsink, added some Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut, and after a generous application of thermal pads, we screwed on the water block. Now it looks pretty good here, but that stock backplate, now it's nice, but a bit boring. What's not boring though, is this completely insane RGB backplate that we got from V1 Techs. So we attached that to the GPU using magnets, so it could be easily removed later. For our CPU, we chose a Core i7-8700K. And every Intel build these days needs a nice helping of liquid metal. So we popped the lid, added some conformal coating, and then, well, in a perfect world, we would have picked up a new syringe of liquid metal, since the old ones have a bad habit of sticking. Fortunately, we've already shown you how to clean these kinds of things up. There we go. With the CPU installed into our ASUS ROG Maximus 10 formula, which comes with water cooling for the VRM already installed by the way, and the CPU block on, it was time to plan out the loop. Someday, we will learn to do loop planning before we start. But it is not this day!
Wow.
Alex's technique for hardline is to measure the bend first, cut a bit longer than needed, bend in the correct place, massaging out the flat spots or oddities by hand, then sand the tubes down to the correct size. So the reason that we always recommend finishing this off with sanding is that it's super brittle, and this way we can avoid that happening. So do this a couple more times and you've got a hardline water-cooled PC. First, we filled the system with distilled water and sysprep to make sure that any strange things would be removed. Next, to find out if the liquid metal spill had damaged our CPU, we went ahead and fired it up.
Go!
Oh, excellent. Looks like we're good. At this point, things were starting to come together, but the fans were a bit boring. And we didn't want to just rely on throwing RGB fans into a case to make them pop. Idea number one was to use UV body paint, which we have for some reason, and sort of just throw it on there. But by idea number one, I mean the first idea, not the best idea. And quite frankly, the rest were not much better. So while the fans were getting figured out and we got a custom cut mirror to go on the top of the case, we modified the laser light show to use the computer power supply by soldering the leads to a sacrificial Molex connector and jazzed up the power supply shroud using some spray adhesive and a tasteful application of glitter, if such a thing were possible. With the loop cleaned overnight, we flushed it with distilled water and then filled it up with UV pink dye from Primo Chill to give it some pop. Back to the fans then. We tried using some different UV reactive paint to spice them up. But try as we might, all we ended up with were crappy looking, half painted fans. So we primed some more for another crack at it. I mean, at least we got a couple of narwhals done while we waited for the fans to dry, so that's a positive point. Coming back in on Monday, Ed actually had a stroke of genius. Rainbow fans. So we took those primed fans and Roy G. bibbed the heck out of them, dabbing on all the haters out there that thought that they were gonna come out looking bad. With some UV cathodes added to the front to make them fluoresce, there was just a bit of tidying up to do before it was time to admire the RAVE PC in its final form. So get up and shake your booty to this dancerific glam.
Checklist, got one more for the set list. Walk in the spot and I drop one track, know who the best is. Walk in the rave like checklist, got one more for the set list.
Tell me what's going down. I can't stand it when you're so shut down.
But now I want more, now I want more, now I want more, now I want more.
Tell me what's
Going down.
Tell me what's going down. I can't stand it when you're so shut down.
Now I want more, now I want more, now I want more, now I want more.
So it looks great, subjectively. And the performance rocks too. This thing stomps on every game we threw at it, and with some overclocking, we were able to easily get 5.1 gigahertz on all 6 cores, with our 8700K sitting at under 70 degrees. Man, I love this thing. Where's my lasers? There they are. There be my lasers at. Massdrop is back with the new Force EDC in-ear monitors. They feature a single 6mm dynamic driver on each side, with both channels closely matched for a cleaner, more accurate sound. You can wear them at home, in the office, at the gym. I mean, they're in-ear monitors, that's kind of the idea. You can wear them anywhere. They feature a lightweight plastic housing, and they come with 2 removable braided cables. Pick them up on Massdrop for just $60 at the link below. Thanks for watching, guys. If this video sucked, you know what to do, but if it was awesome, get subscribed, hit that like button, or check out the link to where to buy the stuff we featured in the video description. Also down there is our merch store, which has cool shirts like this one, and our community forum, which you should totally join. This is what happens when we let someone who either has never been to a rave, or more likely can't remember ever having been to a rave, help me with our makeup. I mean, this is the yellow wire under the studio lights. You can't even tell, but it's flashing. Could you tell? Oh, well, good.